me realise that it would be far better to have Sophie at home where we could control the environment. So it was agreed we were able to bring Sophie home. She did come home on 24/7 pressure support. We had regular support and contact from Sophie's community children's nurse. But I have to say, it felt like overnight we'd gone from a single cupboard in our kitchen with a few oral medications and some feed bags to literally a full medical room with numerous charts, complex escalation plans for her seizures and trying to get her dystonic storms and things under control. So it's quite a traumatic time, as you can imagine, as a family when having Erica and Kyla, her siblings as well, to deal with. So with that came the increase in care, 3 different agencies including the local palliative team and up to 8 different carers, all of which each agency had their own care plan, their own drug charts that they had to adhere to. As it became a demanding schedule for me. Mornings for us, the schedule in the morning with all the medications we came home with would take roughly about an hour and a half, and with that came the medications, nebuliser treatment, cough assist programmes, physio. It seemed pretty relentless, but the things in order to keep Sophie well at home. And that's to say without including any emergencies. So if Sophie had a seizure or there was a dystonic storm, that would have then prolonged the routine in the morning. So it became quite a stressful time. In my opinion, back then it was unsafe. Just because of the nature of there were so many different charts involved, it became complicated. I worried daily about Sophie's drug schedule and everyone keeping to it, knowing that each agency wasn't necessarily checking the other agency's drug charts. So how would they know if one agency had given, rescue med, and if the next agency worker wasn't then checking the other agency's drug chart, how would they know what Sophie's had? I felt like I couldn't leave the house because I needed to be there to make sure there's a clear handover from one member of staff to the next, keeping Sophie safe. And like I said, there's a lot of medication, a lot of which are highly sedative, and for us there could be absolutely no room for error. So I took control and created a drug chart. We use this based on the template that we'd use when Sophie was on the ward, when she's often admitted to hospital, because there's a lot of drugs that Sophie's on and there's quite a demanding schedule. We're very proactive in ensuring, speaking to the pharmacist on the ward, that we can self-administer for Sophie. Obviously they need to keep the drugs locked away, but at least that way I know I'm in control and I know what Sophie's had, and she's not going to miss anything, and again, no room for mistakes. So we devised this plan for home, and although the agency workers still stick to their care plans and their drug charts, it's absolutely imperative that they stick to this chart. So this is the overall drug chart that we use at home. It goes to school, it goes to the hospice. When we go to clinic appointments, we take this and we can go through, if we've got a neurological appointment, for example, and they want to play around with medications and increase dosages, we can go through this without having to take all of our drugs with us, and it's very clear, it's accurate and it's up to date. It works really well with going to see Sophie's GP. Obviously there's lots of appointments that Sophie will go to at various hospitals. So when we go to the GP, they'll get inundated with clinic letters, but what we can do is actually take this, obviously they'll have to cross-check it with the clinic letters, but we can take this and say, right, this is what Sophie's on now, can you update her prescriptions? And it just takes away the stress that often comes with ordering prescriptions, because it's there, it's easy, and the communication is really clear. So by having this drug chart, as I say, all the workers stick to this now, and I have to say it's become a lifeline for us. It's just become so much hassle-free. I can now leave the house. Carers actually feel safer knowing that they're reading this and they're checking this and that everything's documented and there's no room for error with this. So where are we now? Sophie is improving and managing longer periods off a ventilator. And we as a family are living proof that clear communication whilst working in partnership with professionals really does work. And because it works, Sophie is able to live at home, play with her sisters, go to school, go on holiday and enjoy clubs just like any other 9-year-old.